Tim?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a call to order for the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion meeting. Time is now 6:06 p.m. Present in attendance, we have committee member Albert Benahan, myself, committee chair. Online, we got board members Rob Traber, Jennifer Perez. On staff, we got Dr. McPherson, and we got Dr. Morgan here as well. Okay, first item on the agenda is the approval of minutes dated April 17th, 2023. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
I shall second. Does anybody see any errors or omissions of importance? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Oh, aye as well. Motion carries. Okay, next up is a side-by-side discussion and comparison of demographics of Bridgeport Public Schools and Bridgeport Charter Schools. So I believe Dr. Morgan, you're starting off with that?
I'm starting off what?
With the comparison. Sam, could you bring up did you get that data? The data? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, just bring up the data, Sam. And this is,
Are you talking about?
yes, yeah, that's the next data. To be clear, Dr. Morgan was just drafted. For this
Yeah. I'm not really prepared to compare the data.
The
I can't
original packet. In the original packet. Oh,
All right, so we are comparing
okay, so just
prep, Great Oaks Charter School to Bridgeport Public Schools,
right, all right, so,
in terms of student enrollment.
correct. Can you make that bigger, Sam, please?
Just one, achievement one?
First, could you grab the Bridgeport one first? A little tiny bit bigger, please. I can almost see the numbers. All right, there we go. Yes, perfect. Now,
I got it.
not perfect. Yep, oh, yeah, that looked all right. All right, so now, being as this is a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee, we're looking for diverse populations. The other data we had was good data, just comparing race and gender, and pretty much in line with Bridgeport Public Schools, maybe a bit heavier on the minority population. But I wanted to do a deeper dive with this. These are the latest numbers available on EdSite for the what do they call this thing? The District Profile and Performance Report. As of October 1st, 2023. I want to focus on two areas. English language learners, which Bridgeport, as you can see, has 23.1%, and students with disabilities. So let's see, 19.1%. For the year 2021. And when we can compare that with
With the multilingual learners is 55.6% improvement. 55.6% improvement.
no, that's Hispanic.
Oh, sorry.
It's right.
Multilingual learners
here.
is at the bottom.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
23.1%. Okay. Do
Okay.
you want me to say, or you can say?
Yeah, what's the next one?
Okay, the next one is white, going up or down?
No, we're just focus on.
Oh, 23.1% for Bridgeport Public Schools. Then for Great Oaks Charter, it's 11.5%. And for this should be Park City Prep Charter School, it's 11.1%. Okay, so
that's a great big disparity there. This is like almost three times, about almost 300% more. Now, maybe I'm exaggerating a little.
yeah, it's
200%
double.
more.
It's double.
200% more. Well, we'll
Yeah.
get into the 300%
Yeah.
soon with another school. And how this is, I don't understand how this is. We draw from the same population in the city. We have the same, kids come from all come from Bridgeport. They're all Bridgeport kids, like they like to say. Like the charter schools love to say it's we're all Bridgeport kids. We're all Bridgeport kids. So how drawing from the same pool of students can possibly be objectively picking half as many English language learners? I mean, I mean, a 5%, 10% difference maybe could be explained away, but 100, nearly double in Bridgeport Public Schools as in these charter schools. And in some cases, more than double. Sam, could you go through the other ones, please, one by one? Capital Prep. And yeah, let's see what Capital Prep
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Capital Prep, look at that. Look at that number, Capital Prep. 7.6% English language learners
Well below.
in a city with probably like, I don't know, what was it? What percent is that? 7, 14, 21, greater than 300%.
Okay, so you know that
Yes,
they're split amongst, Bridgeport is one school district. The other three are charter schools, so our students are split amongst three three charter schools.
correct.
So, the percentages would be lower. I think,
No,
I don't know. You can- yeah, right?
no, I'm not putting my finger up to
You're
you
playing devil's advocate.
in any kind of way, but
Yeah.
Bridgeport students are jelly beans.
Mhm.
All right, let's put black, white, and brown jelly beans in a whole. But statistically, if you're reaching in randomly, you're gonna pick black, white, or brown jelly bean proportional. If you got your eyes closed, Capital Prep is gonna pick students proportionally. Now, if you got 1,000, your chances of picking a brown jelly bean in the city of Bridgeport is 51%. No matter what school you're picking from.
If 100% of the students apply, 100% of the students don't apply to the charter schools. You're picking from a percentage of students that apply to the charter schools,
Correct.
right? So that's where the numbers are kind of skewed.
Right. So, but yeah, they only 7% are applying in Capital Prep. Maybe only 7% of the applicants, but why? What's the outreach? If we were,
They love Bridgeport Public Schools. Maybe they feel like they're getting what they want to get in our magnet schools.
right, but the thing is, charter schools exist. They're not going anywhere. Now,
But that doesn't mean everybody wants to go to them.
right, but that doesn't mean everybody has an equal chance. It sure seems
Doesn't
they're
mean that.
full and they
you're
got
right.
waiting lists, but they're not providing the same services as Bridgeport Public Schools. And that shows in our test score, that shows in our test scores, and that shows in everything. Shouldn't our
That's
English
one of the
language
reasons they don't
learners,
provide the same services as we do, and that's why some people don't want to go.
right, why don't they?
I don't know.
Right, that's what we gotta look at. So, we've got, lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No worries, I'll get it back. We got, what was it, 25 versus 7 versus Capital Prep. Now, say, look how good we're doing. Look how good we're doing on ELA. What do our students get when they take an ELA test, Dr. Morgan? English language learners. What kind of, would they get? What, extra, a little extra time,
They,
maybe
yeah,
translation, dictionary,
yeah.
sometimes
There's some
question-
tools they can use, yes.
right,
But they are all tested
right.
in English.
They are all tested in English.
Mhm.
Who's here?
Switch.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right, so all our students are tested in English. Now, if we got, it doesn't show students are smarter, and it's not showing students are better, because if we had a doctor, a surgeon come in from China and sit in our 11th grade SAT tests, would they do as well as one of our English speaking students? No, not at all, because they don't speak the language, they don't know what they're reading. So it can't really be a proper gauge. And don't our English language learners deserve the same chance and opportunity to go to a charter school? Instead of just all being in the same school, in the same school district? I mean, we're for all the kids, we're talking about equity. A lot of times when I'm advocating against the charter school model, it's brought up that I'm racist because these schools cover Black and brown people. But this disparity in servicing English language learners, we'll get to students with disabilities in a bit, is discriminatory on the face.
I think what you need to find out is how many multilingual learners actually apply to these schools and how many
Right.
they take. That would be a better gauge,
Right.
rather than just saying in general, they take less. Right?
Right.
If you critically think through it. So,
Oh, yeah.
and that also comes down to how are we reaching out? Are we reaching out in their native tongue to let them know that these opportunities exist?
Yeah.
How do they know when is the cutoff? When can they apply to charter schools? There's usually a cutoff date.
Right, and how do they recruit? I'm in no
Right?
means
How do they recruit?
advocating.
Exactly.
I'm in no means advocating for charter schools. I'm advocating for charter schools to do their fair share and
Yeah, equitable. Be equitable.
be equitable.
Yeah.
And we have no control over charter schools, of course, but we do have liaisons that could ask these questions
Mm-hmm.
and find out about their recruiting, because even the lack of recruiting of people, let me stay on track. English language learners is troublesome because it filters out. Like if you look at any profession in the sciences, we've gone through this before, that you go up in science, you see there's only X amount of people of color or what have you. It's because it starts down below.
Mm-hmm.
And what is this recruiting? And these are the foundational things that we need to be addressed.
Okay, I just want to caution that we don't cherry pick numbers.
Thank you.
Okay, because if you're saying Black and brown children,
English language learners.
all right, only English language learners. Are you saying special needs students too?
Not yet. There's
Okay,
also a
there's-
disparity
there's-
there
Yeah, there is a disparity there. So I was just looking
as well. Yes.
So yeah,
So we
look at it.
yeah, that's definitely, and we definitely want them to look at their recruiting efforts. I'm going to
It
be
needs to be equitable across the board.
absolutely. If you're going to operate schools in our district, you
And-
have to service all our students.
And I have to tell you, if we have 30% of our students are multilingual learners, then the majority of kids you pick should be multilingual.
Absolutely.
That's the bulk of,
Right. And
right? If you're going into if you're choosing,
right. And I think one effort we can make is maybe reach out to the state to have this addressed before they renew their charters and ask them what they're doing to recruit.
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen any recruitment materials, people coming or
Yeah, because
I don't know how they recruit.
right, because it's like it's just, you're gonna automatically get, even with the magnet schools and the charter schools, you're automatically gonna get a parent that's taking an extra step and maybe being a little more savvy, getting their children into these programs because they go out there and look for the information and go through a process. So
Information needs to be readily available.
readily
and
available,
accessible to
absolutely.
everybody. People shouldn't have to go look for it.
All right, at this point in the conversation, I'm gonna look for comments. Mr. Benahan, you have anything to say?
No, I don't have no comments at the moment.
Mr. Traver?
No comments now.
Oh, God, why you name, Ms. Perez?
No comments.
So that's where all of those disparities are. Hi, Dr. McPherson. Dr. McPherson is now in person.
Dr. McPherson.
Yeah, now, yeah, I believe we had that discussion. It's just basically informational at this point, but I would like, as a board, to like get a little more proactive with the charter schools in our district. I mean, I don't want to add seats, of course, because that detracts funding from the city, but the reality is they do exist and they need to service all these demographics equally. Okay, now next up is, could you go back to Ms. Sam, please, Mr. Marini,
Still need this?
to Bridgeport? Yes, we're gonna just look at the. Scroll down a little bit, please. We're going disability.
Name is right there.
Bridgeport Public Schools got 19.1% students with disabilities. And
Yes.
what else we got? Can you go to Great Oaks? Actually, Great Oaks isn't that far off. Great Oaks is pretty much like, I could say they're doing a great job on students with disabilities, because there's only that's the kind of differential you can see as a statistical
Well, we
anomaly.
service them.
Right,
Our
yeah,
people
because,
go in and
right, and we
touch them,
pay for them as well.
We do the.
Right, but now, let's see this one. What do we got here? We got Park City Prep, 8.6%. Again, that's 8.6 versus 19.8, 16. 200+% differential.
Yeah.
Did you flick to the next picture? I don't know which it is. Park City Prep. New beginnings, yes. Bring that up, Sam. Oh my God, look at the English language learners. 2.3% and students with 7.2%. Can you bring up the next one, please? I think that's the biggest disparity there. Capital Prep. Yeah. 7.6, and that's our biggest one, right?
Yeah, oh, he has got.
Capital Prep is our biggest charter school in the city. And 7.6 versus 20 what? Back to English language, 23, 7, 14, 20. That's over 300% disparity with Capital Prep. So I really, the students with disabilities is achievement first. Achievement first.
Yep.
English language learners 13.5, not as big of a disparity. And students with disabilities 9.4. I mean, this has been bothering me for a while. I was explaining the disadvantages of charter schools and funding to a candidate the other day, and it's like, what could we do about it? It's like, really, there's nothing. We don't control the charter schools, so there's really not much we could do. But I've been presenting these numbers in my advocacy for a long time,
Yeah.
and trying to get them to understand. Basically, I've been pushing them when we're comparing test scores. They say this school got 8% higher test scores on English language. Every test we give is in English language. I think math has an exception when it is. But as far as science and all that stuff, all in English. So of course, they're going to have better test scores. So when you're comparing the benefits of a charter school to us, just realize your child is not going to be sitting in a classroom with people who are speaking English. It's not that the schools are doing better. It's the schools are basically doing less differential teaching. So I was just bringing this forth with data. It's not an action item, but it should be an action item. And I hope people within the sound of my voice are disgusted by these demographics and decide to find a way to take action to equally service all the students in Bridgeport, no matter what school they go to. Because like we all like to say in this, every child is entitled to education, especially our most vulnerable. Okay, now that was basically a soapbox agenda item, but it needs to be brought up. Okay, so anybody have anything to say on this topic?
Okay.
Hearing none, I guess we can move on to the next agenda item. Okay, this review and discussion of disaggregated data, gender, race, high school graduation rates, present them. I was trying to get a breakdown of things at teaching and learning, but I was told there's not really any update. The new data is coming out in a week or so. But I do have
It's 2022-23 district and state, but I can't, it's not in color, so.
right. Sam, could you bring up, I think it's the very last photo. Correct, on the same thing, on the same percent.
Percentage of students with disabilities, percentage of English language learners, chronically absent. I don't know what data you're looking for.
Right. And I'm just basically looking for baseline to go forward. Well, whatever the last complete year data is. I apologize, Mr. Murray. I kind of forget how to use all this stuff in.
The certified.
Yes, can you bring that Oh, and that's from the 21, that's the last one they got.
It's less, it's, you know, I mean, it's the
See, they got the 4 years.
state. State.
Does anybody want to?
Oh, I was just saying, our certified staff numbers mirrors the state.
Yeah, we do, yes, we do. No, actually, this doesn't seem, we do the best in the state as far as minority recruitment for our teachers and staff. That's a whole other agenda item.
Yeah, I know that's. Yeah.
Yeah, so, what year do you have?
This is 22-23.
22, 23. Okay, so we got 2021 there. But maybe we can use that as a compare. Do you have comparable data like that?
You know, no, but that, you should be able to find that on EdSite. So I got this from EdSite.
Okay, yeah, this, I don't know if they got away from it.
I
Okay,
wish I
please,
had
yeah,
one.
please go on your data and just, like, I'm looking for cohorts. And like
Oh, I don't.
4-year graduations, 6-year graduations, that's what I'm trying to get at. I was told it wasn't gonna be ready, so any lack of information is.
So you're looking for trends,
Yeah, not
All right,
looking
so
for
that's
trends, and we
probably-
can't establish a trend yet. We
Yeah.
have a baseline.
right? Yeah, you have to wait for them to give you that. This only goes to 21-22.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably that's probably the last 10. Because it's 21, 22 as well, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's folder.
Okay,
So anyway, we could. I guess we heard all of the teaching. I just wanted to try to get a little more disaggregated data. Like, because we got the presentation of overall 4-year, 6-year. They only got 4-year graduation rate here. So anyway, I'll take a motion to table or postpone to the next meeting.
So moved.
and at the next meeting, you're looking for what kind of data?
If it's ready, just, or from the latest available year, just to break down between the 4-year, 6-year graduation rates by race, gender. What else should I put in there? English language learners.
You just want to disaggregate it a little bit.
Yeah,
Boys, girls, males, females.
Yes, yeah, just so we
Okay.
can, just so we can pick out any trending data.
Okay.
Mr. Traber?
Yes, at the other committee meeting, we had the valedictorian and salutatorian data presented to us as well. Do we keep track of, like, I don't know what would be most appropriate, the top 10 students in each graduating class, or? Because it seems inappropriate to me to just focus on the top student or the second student each year. You know, I know we rank students, so I don't know, do we keep track of them? You know, it seems dismissive to me to say, okay, well, the top student this year was a boy. The top student this year was a boy of color or a girl of color or a girl of this particular ethnic background, and dismissive of the rest. You know, given the makeup of our student body, it seems to me more revealing to look at the top 10 or the top 20 or the top 25, whatever would make sense in each graduating class, than just the top 1 student or the top 2 students, to see how we're doing. And to see if we're ignoring a particular subgroup of our student body. You understand my question?
Yeah. How readily available would data like that be?
That
I'm
should
not
be
looking
easy.
to create a great deal of work, but I'm looking for something.
No,
more-
that should be fairly simple to get from the high schools.
Okay, because I'm just looking
That
for something
PTA
more
They're
sophisticated.
ranked in high
simplistic.
school, but PJ could pull that information.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
go ahead.
Sorry, Should be easy. I can ask PJ about that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we'll say the top 20.
Whatever, yeah, I'm,
Okay.
whatever number you think is appropriate to give us a better look, a more whole look at how we're doing with regard to the diversity of our student body. To
Okay.
make sure that we're not neglecting or overlooking some particular subgroup of the student body,
Okay,
which was the point I think being made at the other committee meeting. Was were we neglecting a particular subgroup, the males of color, or the Black males of color?
I know you ladies haven't gotten this data yet, but this was the next item on the agenda as well. Demographic comparison, general high schools versus magnet schools versus aquaculture. Yeah, I got the,
you have that?
I got the raw data, but unfortunately it's not in percentages, so it's gonna be
Oh.
kind of hard to compare unless you pick the numbers.
Yeah, you could do numbers. I mean, if it's 50 and 10. that's
Yeah, you
different.
can see, okay. So, would you like me to read? I don't want to take over when everybody like me to read it off, or would you like to go into the thing? All right, let's start with
What does it
aqua.
look like?
Right,
Demographic comparison, general high schools versus magnet schools versus aquaculture.
right, and I haven't gone into how how I want data presented in this either, so this again is on me too. But generally, Dr. Matthewson is familiar with the bar charts and all that, but I'm not sure how.
No, not that. I haven't looked at it.
Yeah, right.
Do anything.
So magnet school is Central Magnet and Fairchild. What are the magnet schools in high school?
Fairchild.
Central
Did
Magnet.
they put central in here? Central high school. No, they didn't put data in, disaggregate central. That's what I.
Because it says
You got-
versus magnet schools. What are you considering the magnet schools in high school?
All of them. I actually consider central high school and central magnet to be separate entities, which they are.
Yeah, so it would be Central Magnet would be the magnet school for high school.
Correct, and then
Fairchild.
central.
And
high
then
school.
Fairchild
Separate.
is the magnet, those three schools in
Correct.
Fairchild.
An additional with
What about B?
BMA and Aqua.
BMA is a magnet school?
Not a magnet school.
Well, so it's similar. It's a school of choice. Let's call
The
it.
reason I'm asking, if you're gonna compare general high schools to magnet schools, which schools are being compared? BMA's general, or would we be compared to like Fairchild? Or if is BMA, you considering BMA a magnet school, then what's the general high school? Harding?
Yeah, Harding,
Bassett?
Bassett, and Central. Harding, Bassett, and Central.
Central has a magnet.
Correct, and
component.
disaggregate
Thinking
It should
that
be
section,
separate,
right,
yeah.
correct. And right now, we can look at Aqua, males in Aqua.
Yeah.
Males in Aqua, 181 versus females, 148.
Okay.
And if you, Bassett, males 599 versus 436. Central males 885 versus 829.
No.
BM, wait, what did I say? Yeah, Bassett. Harding 612 males, 599 females. BMA 144 males,
Those are kind of similar.
151 females. BMA has, that's interesting.
Yeah,
BMA
that's the
with
big, that's the disparity. The rest of them are kind of similar, but BMA.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting to have more females. I guess that's some subconscious bias of mine. Thinking unless females would be interested.
And this is a report, Mr. Chair. Sorry to interrupt you. This is a report now for 2023.
When was the last number? I don't have a date on this.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's most up to date, or probably maybe last year's total is more than likely.
Mm.
Well, it could, I don't know how fast it goes into how fast does data come through about current racial makeups of the school?
Was it October 1st? Moment.
Okay, so-
When the data comes.
So maybe October 1st this year or October 1st last year, but I don't expect the numbers to trend that far apart.
Yeah.
Okay, so now go down to the charter schools, similar. Oh. Where was I? Okay, so then we got male, females. Oh, Okay, Arrow has 211 males, 117 females. That seems a bit interesting. Rio has 112 males and 253 females. Get another piece of just. I wonder why it swings so far. And IT has 291 males versus 112 females.
Makes sense to me.
And we go back. Yeah, we go to race. I'm just gonna mention Asian. What tops? Aqua has 15 Asians, 19 blacks, African Americans, 212 white, and 76 Hispanic, Latino of any race. Now they draw from different districts.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I just had a question about Aqua, so now that you've got back to it. They're not entirely Bridgeport students, right?
Correct.
So why would you be looking at them vis-a-vis other schools that are entirely Bridgeport students?
Well, some of these schools are not entirely Bridgeport public schools. Bridgeport students.
Actually, you're right, at Fairchild Wheeler, right?
Well, Fairchild and this. And I know that schools located here should be the majority of our students, correct?
Yeah, but I'm saying the Aqua students are the Aqua students from Bridgeport all Central students?
No,
There's a ratio that shows.
They come from other high schools too?
correct.
Okay,
They come from Central Magnet, Bassick, Harding. And,
okay, that was the question.
yeah, so I would expect these numbers to be a little more balanced. I mean, I don't have the percentages in front of me, but I would expect some variation because we got people coming from out of town. There should be some variation, but should the variation be this much? I don't know because I don't have the little charts in front of me. And I think if I'm not mistaken, they have a similar entry requirement and balance between Fairchild and Aqua. And that's something else we could look at our residencies where, because the school's in our backyard, we have our meetings there. I mean, it's a great program and we'd like to see a lot more of us.
I do know that there was a push to get more Bridgeport kids to come
Right.
to Aqua, so
And
those
then
numbers have gone up from last year.
right, and then again, we're setting the bar to look at this. In the future, maybe we need to do more recruitment on our own for the programs. Maybe we should have people, recruit, I don't know if they're doing it or not yet, in the starting in the 7th grade.
Yeah.
About the program, because this was backup plan if my son couldn't get into magnet school. I mean, he would go here and then take the science program because it's an awesome science program. Oh my God.
It is. They have a grant with NOAA now. They're gonna be working with Clayton. So, on climate.
So can we find out any balance requirements that we have, like residents versus out of towners?
I don't think that Aqua has any balance requirements, and I'm not sure, I'm not gonna don't write this in stone. But the reason I think that is because question came up of how many students were coming there from out of town versus how many Bridgeport. That's why there was a push to get more Bridgeport students into Aqua.
Right.
There was a recruitment effort. So I'm not sure if they have a balance requirement. But I'll ask. I'll find out.
Okay, so now let's look at most in the top. And Bassick and Central, just at a quick eye glance, seem to have proportionality with the rest of the district. Majority Hispanic, about half the numbers, two blacks and African American, and then less white. And it seems to be the case in all three demographics. That's a everything being equal, that's how it should look. Now, error 174, 109. And that actually seems the same in our, I would need the bar charts to confirm. 174 Hispanics versus 49 whites and 78 African Americans. Again, it seems within striking range, just the brief look of the numbers, and the same holds true for the other ones. If we can, I would like to get this data into the one that goes column graphs.
Bar
graph.
charts.
Bar graph?
Yeah, last time I said bar graph, it was sideways.
Oh, you can put them, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I
Bar
think.
graph, you can have them going up and down.
Yeah, because it's easier to see if something's here
Yeah.
and
or
if something's
something
way
here,
down there.
Like this.
Then
These are
it's
bar
easier
graphs,
to
you can do it
yeah,
like that. These are
absolutely.
bar graphs.
You can see any disparities. Now, not to say it's disparity in and of itself is biased. But it may be that not addressing it is.
I think the big question is how much access do all of our students have to these programs?
Correct.
That's the question. So
Absolutely.
we want to make sure everyone, all of the students, multilingual learners, special needs students, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Hawaiian, whoever, have equal access to these programs.
Absolutely. Within our
That's what it
purview.
is.
And we
Yeah.
could do something to fix
Within our
we could do something to fix it here. And set an example for our friends in the charter school to follow.
Yes.
Because they should be following what we did, because we didn't always do such a good job. We had to make the road on us for
Yeah, no,
quite a few years to bring us to where we are, and hopefully everybody else could get to the same place. So this was basically just an informative session to just get our legs and bearings for the beginning of the year and try to get these numbers even. I mean, we want to be on a flat plateau as much as possible when comparing demographics the way they should be. Any questions, Mr. Benahan?
No question.
Mr. Traber?
No question.
Ms. Perez, you still with us?
No.
Okay, so I guess that's all we have right now. So if anybody has anything else?
So for the record, you said you were gonna table, what was the thing? Table for our next meeting, what was
Just
it?
disaggregated data for the high school graduation rates.
Okay.
Is that the teach and learn? It might be the next meeting, it might be the
high
meeting.
school graduate.
Okay, so motion to adjourn?
So move.
I shall second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Everybody have a great night. Thank you, everybody, for coming and listening.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone. God bless you all.